friends, Justin Michael. Welcome back to my channel, and of course, welcome if it's your first time visiting. I appreciate you stopping by as always. So I'm going to do a quick review of a couple items that were sent to me by Llewellyn for review. So special thank you to Marcus and the folks over at Llewellyn. Very much appreciate this. And I'm going to start off with the tarot deck, which is, I'm a little bit late getting out this video. I do apologize. I just had a whole bunch of things going on with the holiday. Plus, this was a last minute thing. And so I had just a bunch of other things lined up that I was devoting my time to. But so the Goetia is, it was a Kickstarter project by Fabio Listriani. And I remember seeing it over Kickstarter. I do believe that the folks that back that project are just getting their decks now, or they just got them like, a few weeks ago. It's a different version. It's an indie version, different box and so forth. But this actually was also published by Lo Scarabeo, which of course is an affiliate of Llewellyn. And the idea behind this is Goetia Tarot in Darkness. It's based on a 17th century grimoire by an anonymous author, which was it was called the Lemegeton. I'm going to pronounce this wrong, but Claviculus Solomonus, which is basically the lesser keys of King Solomon, and it was translated by Mathers. And it was published most famously by Aleister Crowley, although there are other versions and other interpretations and so forth. But the grimoire was written in the 17th century, and then it was published by, Mathers and Crowley. Now, this is not really a topic that everybody's going to be interested in. It's a very kind of niche group of people will be interested in this, but it's basically Solomonic magic, which is based on the mythology of King Solomon and, his power as a, conjurer of demons. I'm not an expert on this stuff. I'm just getting interested in this. In fact, when this deck was sent to me, I knew almost nothing about this stuff. I've been recently reading, I read the little booklet in here, and then that sort of prompted me to, get the book by Crowley, and I read up on that. And so in that book, there is a section which details what's called the Ars Goetia, which is a summoning of demonic spirits, and names them by name. There are 70 plus demons in there, and in this deck, each card is corresponding with one of the characters from the grimoire, one of the demons. So Fabio Listriani, in his book, talks a bit about his view on the demons as spirits. He doesn't view them as like the way we do. I was a little uneasy about this personally because of my upbringing, and it's like, whoa, conjuring demons. I'm not the most religious person, but I'm very superstitious, and I believe that I will approach this with the utmost amount of respect. I will not be conjuring any demons. This is, for me, is a learning tool. It's something to learn about the history, about the grimoire and the characters, the demons, But I won't be doing any magic with this. But let me just read a little passage here from Fabriano Listriani. So the project you are holding was born of my desire to propose a new and modern guise for part of the anonymous 17th century grimoire called Lemegeton Clavicula Solomonus, dedicated to the Ars Goetia, the magical practice designed for evoking and invoking demons. My goal was to reawaken and modernize this sacred practice via a deeply esoteric and ceremonial tarot deck, where each demon becomes not only an arcanum, but also a source of connections and associations that will allow you to descend into the depths of your subconscious, right where your shadow has teeth, claws, and horns. We accomplished this with attentive research using some of the most respected sources in the field, from the attributions of Aleister Crowley to those of Eliphas Levi on the Shem HaMepharish, or the more recent ones by Stephen Skinner. There is no reason to interpret this descent or fall, quote unquote, talking about the fall of the demons, in a negative way. Demons are in fact a great deal closer to us than any god or divinity, but unlike gods and divinities, they have no unfathomable motivations, gratuitous hatred, or mysterious reasonings. A demon is our direct reflection that feeds on our emotions and takes its image from them. Thus, if we face it with fear and hatred, it will be terrifying and abominable, whereas if we face it with humanity and respect, it will become humane, respectful, and completely at our service. Evil, in and of itself, does not exist. This is the fear. This is the view of the author. It is merely an absence of good. The search of our brightest light must go through the deepest darkness. The night is darkest just before dawn. Fabio Listriani. And then there's a prayer, which is taken directly from the book, and then it explains a bit about the history and so forth. And so in here, basically, talks about the Kabbalah and, the development of Hasidic Judaism, which came around the same time as Kabbalah in the 17th century. Talks about fallen angels and all the various kind of mythologies surrounding it, if that's what you want to call it. But then it goes into the subconscious and the use of symbols and things. And so there's an element of psychology to this as well, and like working with your own personal demons, doing shadow work and so forth. If I were to use this deck, it would be in that capacity, although I don't think I will be using it in that regard. This will be something I will read with, and read as in read books with and learn the characters and so forth. In fact, it's already been great that way because I've been reading a lot about this stuff. So the structure of the deck. Okay, so on each of the cards, let's pull the card out so I can show you. First of all, these are the backs. It's a monochromatic deck. There are no, vibrant colors. This is a very dark deck, and it's not going to be for everyone. Now, it came to me not ordered in the traditional tarot way, although that's how I have it ordered now. It came to me in the order that the demons appear, because each card has a demon, that corresponds to the book, and there's, an order, and it came in that order. But it does, so it has two numbers on here, and you're going to see, so it has, first off, the sigil of the demon itself. It has the name of the demon, so in this case it's Valefor. The number from the grimoire, which is 6, and then the number according to tarot, which is 0. The Fool, it has both a planet and an astrological correspondence, which was interesting for me. But I guess every demon is associated with a planet. And again, this is not something I'm super familiar with. I'm just learning. But I did read something where, the demons are associated with planets. So that's basically it. And I'm not quite sure what this is here, but I do know that's the sigil. And they're quite busy, and this is not going to be a great beginner's deck. This isn't going to be something you're going to learn tarot with. This is going to be for folks who are interested in either learning something new and learning about this really fascinating topic, or, you've already read, the Lesser Key of Solomon, and you just are interested in it. So you could use it as a tarot deck. It does have the numbers, but in my opinion, it would be very hard to use this deck just as a tarot deck without kind of acknowledging the characters on the cards. So, but it's a really pretty card stock. The box is beautiful, like you would expect from Los Scarabeo in these kind of really nice box top boxes. So we're going to take a quick look. I'm not going to go through the entire deck, but like I said, this is Valefor. Andromelius, which I am familiar with that. Characters, so this corresponds to Pisces, There's the tarot number, which is the Magician, and then 72 is the number appears in the grimoire. So, the book talks all about, how King Solomon, well, it talks about the fall of the angels and so forth, but if you look at the book that was translated by Mathers and published by Crowley, The Lesser Keys of Solomon, that talks about, King Solomon's role as a sort of a demon conjurer, he had power over demons. Talks about the Seal of Solomon, gives a whole bunch of information. It's very esoteric. It's something I don't know a great deal about, but I'm very fascinated with this. And of course, it's not going to be for everybody. But if it's something that calls to you, I'm going to list, I'll link below the Kickstarter campaign. This way, if you're interested, you can read a little more from the creator, see pictures of the cards and so forth. And there is a documentary, which I'm going to post to below, which I enjoyed, from the Esoteric Institute or something like that, where it gives a whole history of the books, which would be better for you to get from them than me try and tell you the little bit I know. So, okay, this is Temperance. So the devil is Lucifer, which is cool, and it's 78 in terms of the demonic number, but it's the 15th card, of course, in the Major Arcana. I find this really fascinating, this stuff. And so in the book also, it gives you a chart with all the demonic names as they appear in the book. And then, so for instance, it has the card name, the meaning, which is like, okay, so Baal is the King of Wands, creative experience, adaptive control is the nature of the demon, and the planet is the sun, and Aries is the zodiac. Traditional tarot attributions. So yeah, I mean, it's very different and a bit busy and complex. You'll have to really spend some time with this deck, but I find it very interesting. So anyway, we're going to take a quick look at the rest of them here. I'm not going to show you every single card. The artwork is really interesting. I remember actually that from seeing it on Kickstarter. This is Baal and the King of Wands, the frog, or the toad, I should say. It's very dark, In fact, I hope the camera picks this up and does it justice. I mean, it's not the kind of thing that pops out at you. You really have to look at it and sit with it for a minute. But that's the whole idea, is because they lurk in the shadows, and it's a bit of a dark deck. And that's really cool. Okay, so, you get the idea. If you're interested, I will link everything below. And so we're going to take a look at a complete 360 in a very different kind of vibe, much brighter and happy-go-lucky, is this oracle called the Winterseer Animal Oracle, which is basically, it's a simple animal oracle, which is something that I actually like. I'm not like a real kind of fan of animal oracles, but when I use them, I kind of like a simple animal oracle, and it's very colorful. Comes with part of the charm of these, oracle decks is that they usually come with a really interesting book. It gives you like, it's not too heavy. It's just a little bit of information and a nice description of each of the animals on the cards. Full color images. Very pretty book. Very nice box, which you get from Llewellyn these days. The inside of the box. And the images are really, really pretty. So what you get is, the name of the animal, which is a wren here, a bird, and humility. You have the wolf and freedom, the whale, wagtail, restlessness, and of course you'll see that, for instance, turtle, practicality. You'll see that the characteristic of the animal is sort of built into the meaning, you know. So swan is beauty, astute, stag is leadership. So, you know, really, really pretty. And there's a lot of cards in this oracle, which is, I don't know the exact number of the cards, but it's more than like 22 or something, you know. It's quite a bit of them. Rooster is pride. Robin is helpful. The raven, of course, is death. Rat is fear. Raccoon is survival. So, you know, of course, the owl is knowledge. It's really pretty and very simple, but beautiful. And this would be something I would use probably to pull like a card for some inspiration, you know, if I'm writing or if I'm trying to think of ideas or if I just want to get in touch with nature. You know, I do go up the mountains. Usually this week I'm up in the mountains, but I wasn't able to go this year for you know, personal reasons and so forth. But for the last, you know, decade, I've gone away this week up the mountains, you know, and I'm in the wilderness, and it's great. I actually usually take the Brady Tarot with me, and I use that as an oracle, and I'll take it out in the woods with me, and I'll sit out there, and, you know, I've had some nice synchronicities with it, you know, and so forth, and it's kind of cool. So I'm very much about nature. So, but anyway, this was the one thing I was like, I didn't really like the name. Okay, so the cat, detachment, you know, that's a bit, it goes with that whole stereotype of the cat being aloof. And, you know, a lot of cats are like that, but not all cats, you know, because I'm a great lover of cats. Cats are a sacred animal to me, and I just never really liked that stigma. But, you know, that's probably my one little pet peeve in the whole deck. So, but anyway, so that's the Winterseer by Ciolo Thompson, and of course this is available on the Llewellyn website. And Llewellyn is running an amazing sale right now because of Black Friday and probably all through the holidays. So, you know, check it out. Of course, Llewellyn is one of the great publishers of tarot. I really enjoy Llewellyn's books, actually. And this is a really cool one. So this is Sasha Graham, who has written the Llewellyn's Guide to the Rider-Waite-Smith, which is a great big book on the Rider-Waite-Smith. She's written that 365 tarot spreads. She's been around a long time and written some great books. And this one, believe it or not, I've been using this mostly as a reference, but I've been listening to because I also got the audiobook as well. Really enjoying it. Listening to her story and so forth. But it seems to be that lately, a lot of people are, I shouldn't say a lot of people, but authors, there are a lot of books that are being published that are aimed more at, you know, intermediate level tarot readers or people who are looking to learn a bit more. And that's what kind of book this seems like, okay? Because it's about tarot and magic, and, you know, tells you how to study, you know, a bit about tarot journals. So this could work for a beginner, but I also feel like it would be a great book to read for somebody who knows a bit, you know, and talks about, you know, her story. All about storytelling, basically. You know, she's big on tarot and storytelling. A bit about daily practice, tarot journaling, code of ethics. But it also, you know, it's got a lot of useful information here. It's interesting. A whole section on numerology, which I quite like, you know. Numbers and patterns, you know. Bringing magic to life. it's an interesting book. You know, some spells and stuff in here. Is tarot dreaming us? Are we dreaming tarot, or is tarot dreaming us? It's kind of interesting. Bedtime dream work, meditation with the moon card. Very cool. And of course it has, you know, all the majors in here. Wow. Very cool. I was trying to see what they did with the... Okay. Okay, so it's got majors and core cards. Oh no, it does have the minors. It does have the minors. Cool. And it's all Rider-Waite-Smith, but... Anyway, and here's a nice glossary. Really beautiful book. Very much enjoying it, like I said. So anyway, leave your comments below. Thanks for stopping by. And of course, I'll leave all the links below. Check out Llewellyn. They're having a nice sale. Thank you again to Marcus and everybody over at Llewellyn for sending those to me. And thanks for stopping by. Please leave your comments below. And until next time, everyone, love and peace. Bye-bye.